Hey, how's it going? It's George from Joint Effort Exercise. I am here for class number 5 of our Intro to Balance and Strength training. So, hope you're enjoying the series so far. I am pre-recording this one again, just so we don't have any issues with the live video that we had a couple classes ago. So today, everything is just as it was the past couple of classes, or a few classes, I should say. Just going to need a chair. You'll need a bottle of water or something to drink. And I don't think we need any dumbbells for this one. So if you have those light cans or light weights that you can use, by all means, feel free to do so. But there's not going to be any real movements in this class that you're going to need them. So as I mentioned in the beginning, there'll be some that you do, some that you don't. That's why they're not really required. Let's get started. So we'll just start off with our regular warm-ups that are the modified jumping jacks. So feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, and we're just going to go out to the sides just like so, right? We'll do about 30 seconds of this. You keep going. I am going to get our timer actually started. Just take a couple of seconds. Keep going. Have about 5 seconds left of those modified jumping jacks. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, and our next one is going to be our butt kick. So feet about shoulder width apart, and we're just going to go up and heel to the rear end, just like so. As with every class, you go at your own pace. If you can go at the same speed as I am, that is wonderful. If you can go faster, that's better. If you need to go slower, that is completely fine as well. About 5 more seconds of this. And rest. Very good. All right, now we're going to do our good morning. So you can either do these facing your chair. You can put your hands behind your ears, arms across your chest, however you feel most comfortable. So I'm going to go arms across my chest, and we're going to go down just like so. So you should, as you're going down, you should feel a little bit of a stretch in your hamstrings, just starting to feel that. Doesn't have to be too significant, just enough to where you're going and getting a little bit of a dynamic stretch in those muscle groups. We have about 5 more seconds. And rest. Very good. All right. Our next one we're going to do is similar to the first one, but the modified jumping jacks, rather than going up above, I want you to open up your chest. So you're going to go out to the sides like this, and then back in. Out to the sides like this, just like that. Nice and easy. Again, this is just the warm-up. So you don't need to go overly fast with any of these. We're just looking to get the muscles of the chest open. We're actually going to do a similar move to this and a couple of moves to this during the workout. All right, very good. And last one, we just want to get those hip flexors warmed up. I'm going to move forward a little bit. I think I have some space to do it. All right, and so we're just going to do those high knees. So just bringing your knees up, just like that. This will be the last of our warm-ups, and then we will get into our actual balance movements. Hope everybody had a good weekend and Easter. For those who celebrate, we had a great one. Friends, family, and food, which I am working off now, but it was all good. All right, 5 seconds. And rest. Very good. All right, so grab some water. And what we'll do is we'll start off with, as I mentioned, we'll start off with our balance exercises, just like we did the last class. We'll have about a minute where I'll describe everything, and then we'll get into it. So during those times, just grab some water, catch your breath a little bit, and I'll describe. All right, so tandem stance. The first one is the tandem stance hold with a chest opener, so I'll show you that. And then calf raises with a diagonal reach. So tandem stance is 1 foot in front of the other. So, okay, so heel and toe, But if you can't do that, just have your foot just slightly positioned out. So you can either, this is the more challenging, or you can do it like this. In this one, you're going to just stay still, knees bent, and we're going to do one arm out like this, and then the other, okay? So just like that. If you can do heel to toe, that is ideal. The other is going to be a calf raise with a diagonal reach, okay? So you're going to stand up, knees are going to be straight for this one. And I want you to just hang on to or have your hand hovering over your chair. You're going to go up on one toe and then reach, or up on your toes and then reach across with one arm, okay? Just like that. So up onto your toes and reach across, okay? So let's start off with that first one. So you can do tandem stance, which is one foot in front of the other, or you can have your feet out just a little bit, all right? Hands out in front, and we're starting in 3, 2, 1, go. So our right arm is going out, left arm is going out. So just my knees are bent just a little bit with this. So you should feel, as I am, my ankles are working and moving a lot, my feet, to keep myself in this position. You're going to keep your core muscles tight the entire time. And we probably have about 2 seconds. We're almost done. All right, very good. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is your feet are about shoulder width apart with this one. You can have your hand on or next to or hovering over your chair, and knees are going to stay straight. You're going to go up onto your toes and reach across. Up onto your tiptoes, reach across. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Just like that. This is not an easy one by any stretch of the imagination. So just go up as high as you can and reach over, just like that. So I'm using my left arm now to reach across. The next time I'm going to do the opposite, okay? All right, that was 30 seconds. I'll turn this up so you can hear it as well. All right, now I'm just going to have my left foot in front since I had the opposite last time. It doesn't really make that much of a difference, to be honest. So if you can't remember, that's fine too. Arms out in front. And I'll just reach it out with my left and out with my right. Just like that. Nice, slow, controlled movement. Core muscles stay nice and tight the whole time. Again, you should be feeling your feet moving quite a bit to try to keep yourself in place. If you're not, get your feet closer together or one foot in front of the other. All right, very good. Okay, now we're going back to that calf raise. So feet about shoulder width apart again. And now you can even just turn and face your chair. That might be the best way to do it. Up onto the tiptoes and reach across. If you can do this without your hand on the chair or whatever furniture you're using, by all means do so. Don't want anybody to get hurt during this, obviously. 5 more seconds. And rest. Very good. Okay, so that was sequence number 1. Grab some water, and I'll go over the next 2. Which one of them? Actually, we've done both of them, so this is pretty easy. 2 important ones though. So the first one is going to be that hip abduction. So you're standing on one foot, and you're going out to the side. So working that hip. Again, we've done this one a few times, so you should really be almost trying not to hold on while you're doing it. Have that hand hover over the top. So that's the first one. And the second one is the standing marches, like what we did for the warm-up, really. So, but for this one, how about we try to pause for a second as you're going up? So it shouldn't be so quick with that. So let's pause a little bit while we're doing it, all right? So I'll show you how to do that once we get there. And so we'll start off with our left leg going out. So again, my right hand is just hovering over the top of my piece of furniture, and we're going out to the side, starting now, okay? A little bit of a bend in that right leg, okay? So again, you don't want to be leaning over. It's really just that far. That's as far as my acetabulum, which is the hip socket, will allow me to go. And so this is really good for hip strength as well. And if you're feeling your right leg or whatever leg is stationary right now starting to fatigue a little bit, that's exactly what we want. All right. Okay, so shake that stationary leg out a little bit. There's probably some lactic acid building up in there. All right, and next we're going to go into our high knee. So as I said, let's go up 1, 2. 1, 2. Nice and easy. So not so much aerobic. Let's get that weight shift. And you're just going to hold for a couple of seconds as you're up there. Just like so. This is also good for that hip flexor strength that we talked about the other day. Something that's actually fairly common in the gym when we have people get started. Some have an issue getting their leg up on the leg press or leg up on the machines. So it's a really important muscle group because that's what, help to get up your leg up into the car, things like that. Okay, so that was the high knee. And now we're just going to go back to the other side. So, so my right hand can stay on here, and I'm just going out with the hip abduction with my right leg now. Left leg is slightly bent. So that's going to make my quadricep muscle work a little bit to keep me from falling to the ground. So I'm using that quadricep muscle, what we call isometrically, which is the muscle's working, but it's staying still. And it's a very good way to develop strength as well. So shake that leg out a little bit. And we're just going to do that marching again. So same way, same speed. So just want to hold it for a couple of seconds when we get up there and really do your best not to hang on with this. If you have to, obviously do so. But if you can do it with just a hand hovering or having one finger touch, or do all that you can not to be white knuckling on the on the surface that you're using for your stability. Okay, so you're just holding for a couple of seconds as we get up, weight shifting. We're using those hips, using the core, using a lot of muscle groups, and again those hip flexors. All right, very good. That is sequence number 2. So grab some water and we'll get into our next group of movements. So the first one will be a semi-tandem stance, standing chest press. So that'll be one arm, and then squat to calf raise with overhead reach. Okay. So the first one is going to be semi-tandem stance. You have one foot in front of the other, but they're kind of not far apart, but maybe like a half a foot length apart in terms of the distance, like that. Okay, and all I want you to do, I want you to take your right arm, and you can have your left hand either on, let me switch around. Okay, so my right hand's on the chair. Okay, but I'm going to just keep that there in case I need it. My left foot's behind me. I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm just going to reach across. Okay, or excuse me, my left hand, and reach across. Okay, just like that. That's the first one. And then the second one is going to be a squat to a calf raise and overhead press. Okay, so but I'm not going to use any weights here. It's really just a reach, right? So squat down just a little, squat and up to a calf raise. Squat, shift the hips back, up, and just like that. This is not easy. If you need to do it with just one hand for a little bit to keep your balance. So squatting down, my hands are here on the chair, and then reach above the head. You can do that as well. If you can't do both, that is better. All right. So let's start with that first one. We're going to have our left foot back behind us. Right hand hovering over the top of your device or on your stomach. And we're going to start the chest press. Okay. So a little bend in the knees, and we're just going to reach across our body. Okay. Reach across the body. Just like so. A little bit of a bend in the knees as we're doing this. So my left arm is the one that I'm using to press out in front and reach across the body. Okay, and now we're just going to do the squat to the overhead reach. All right, so my hands are here. If you can do both, or if not, just have one hand there and the other hand going to reach up. okay? So I'm going to do it in a more challenging way, squatting down just a bit, up onto my toes, and reach up. Not easy. Squat, up onto the toes, reach up. Okay, so do your best. A little bit of a pause kind of at the top if you can. Don't want it to be all momentum. If you can, pause just a little bit. That is great. Okay, so that was the squat to overhead reach. Now I'm going to take my right leg and put it back behind me. My left hand is out in front. If you need to face the other direction, so onto your piece of furniture, that's fine. I'm just going to keep mine on my belly, and I'm punching and I'm reaching across. Notice I'm twisting my torso just a little bit as I do this. So feet are there, and I'm twisting just a little. So again, with this, we want to work in all planes of motion. So that's what we call the transverse plane, the way that we twist, and we use our oblique muscles, the muscles on the sides of your abdominals. So very important for just overall mobility in the lumbar spine, the ability to, to twist. All right, and back to that that second movement, which was the squat to overhead reach with the calf raise. Not the most simple exercise that we've done, but as I promised, we would be progressing to slightly more challenging movements throughout the 6 weeks. So squatting down and up, just like that. And again, everything is at your own pace. Keep going and good. Rest. All right, more than halfway done. Well done so far. Hope you're enjoying it and feeling a little maybe sweat drip a little bit. That would be good, or building, I should say. All right, so grab some water, and the next one's going to be a single leg stand. We've done that. And then step forward to mini twist. So we haven't done that one. So the first one's just going to be a one leg stand, and you're going to do it for as long as possible. So we're just going to have a slight bend, and you're going to just hold that, again, for as long as you possibly can, out the chair or surface if you can. All right, and the next one's going to be a step forward. So we're going to step forward, and we're going to twist with the arms across our chest. Okay, so just a tiny step. So it doesn't have to be anything too significant, just a step and a little bit of a twist, okay? All right, so let's get started with the one leg stand. Right leg staying still, hands hovering over the top. And we're just going to try to stand on that one leg for as long as you can. If that hip flexor gets tired or you lose your balance, obviously just reset, tighten up your core, and try to stand for as long as you can just on that one leg. Again, do it as best as you can without using. If you have to touch it like I am, if you have to touch it, that's totally fine. Obviously, we don't want anybody falling, but as long as you possibly can. So that time I had my right leg stationary. So next time I'm just going to do the opposite. All right. So now I'm going to have my arms crossed. I'm going to step out slightly with my right leg. I'm going to turn to the right. Okay. We're going to do that the entire time. So stepping out with the right, turn to the right. Okay. So just like that, nice and easy. This is not an easy exercise. From a balance standpoint, it may be, pretty simple. From an aerobic or strength standpoint, that's not the idea here. This is strictly balance. This is when we hear a lot of our people have trips and falls. They were distracted and they looked in a different direction. Next thing you know, on the ground. That's what gets us there. So we want to make sure we're training our mind and our body to be able to do these easily. Left leg staying still, right knee is coming up. So single leg stand as long as you possibly can. Again, if you need to touch or you need to drop your foot for a second, obviously okay to do so. But just want to stay up there for as long as you can. Okay, we're about 10 seconds left. See what happened there? I turned my head for a moment. I had to touch. So that's why the next exercise that we're doing is important. As soon as you change your your line of vision, what you're looking at, it throws the balance off a little bit. So we want to make sure we're doing this twisting as well. Okay, so feet are almost together, arms across the chest. I'm going to step out with my left now. So you're just doing the opposite of what you did before. So stepping out in front, turn to the left, and then come back. Step out, turn left, back in, and press. Good. Make sure you're turning your head with this as well. Again, it makes it more challenging, but that's what's going to help in the long run. All right. One more group of exercises left, then we will stretch. So get some water. And all right, semi-tandem stance with a wood chop. Okay, we could do that. And then grapevine steps. So two very good and important exercises to do. So the first one we're going to do, right leg is going to be in front. I'm going to take both hands, and I want you to just do this movement. So we're going to go in like a diagonal position like that. Again, more transverse plane work. Just like that, just one direction for the first time, and then the second time we'll go in the other. And then the grapevine steps are, you're going to step behind you. So just like that. So stepping behind, and a little bit of a bend in that front leg, okay? So just a little bit of a bend in that front leg. So let's start with that wood chop. So right foot's going to be behind me. Just kind of putting my hands together and making a diagonal kind of movement here with my hands. If you want with this one, you can use your cans or your resistance, whatever weight you have. Don't necessarily need to, as I'm not, but that will help to improve your strength in your low back, your abdominals, your obliques by doing so. And that's good. And now those grapevine steps. So I'll do it this way just so you can see what I'm doing. So my outside leg is going back. Now I'm stepping forward and back, just like that. All right, ready, and go ahead. So stepping back, you can hang on, obviously, like I am, but if you don't have to, that's obviously ideal. So just stepping back a little bit and just a tiny bend in that front knee as you do so. Okay, keep it going. 5 seconds. And good. Okay. And now last group here. So left foot's going back behind me, hands together or hands on the weight that you're using. Slight bend in the knees. You're reaching down to your left and diagonal up to your right. So just like a 45-degree angle right across, a little bit of a twist in both directions. So kind of down towards my right knee, and then up past my right shoulder, my left knee, and then up past my right shoulder. Just like so. Five seconds. And rest. Very good. All right, and last one is the grapevine again. So same thing, have your hand on your chair or furniture, whatever you'd like if you need to, but if not, don't do it. Feet about shoulder width apart, and we're just stepping behind with a little bend. So a little bit like this, nice. You can go as quickly as you want to with this one. This one can be a little bit aerobic as well. Face you again, go back to this direction. And we are done. Very good. Excellent class. So as I said, a couple review exercises, a couple progressions of exercises that we've done in the past. But we're moving in the right direction. So I hope you feel that everything has been tolerable for you for this class and the ones previous, but that will continue to progress again over the next few weeks. All right, so as we have been, we are going to do our stretches. So let's take a seat. Let's get that right foot out in front, back, and just going to have a slight bend in my right knee, leaning forward. Foot is kind of pointing forward, and we're just leaning down, feeling that nice stretch in the hamstrings on the right side. And again, 15 to 20 seconds is good for all of these. Make sure we're stretching all these muscles out after we work them. All right, so now we'll just switch to the left side. Same thing, leaning down, feel a good stretch in your left leg. The hamstring back behind. Okay, and now let's just keep that left leg out in front. Now we're going to keep it as straight as possible. Point your toes up towards your chest and then just lean forward slightly, keeping your back nice and straight. You should feel a stretch in your calf while you're doing this way, in this way. All right, 5 more seconds. That one is probably the least comfortable out of all of them, for me at least. I don't know if it's the same for you. Same thing here. Keep that right leg straight now. Point the your right foot up towards your chest and just leaning down a little. Feel a nice stretch in your right calf now. 3, 2, and 1. Very good. All right, now I'm just going to cross my left leg over my right. So my left ankle is over my right knee. Just twist towards you. I have my left arm hugging underneath my left knee. And just leaning forward slightly with my back straight. You should feel a good stretch in your left hip. All right, switching to the other side, same thing. Right hand, now my right leg is over my left knee, my right arm is hugging underneath, and I'm leaning forward slowly. Five more seconds. All right, very good. And so you can stand on up now, and I'm going to just turn my chair around. Now we want to get those hip flexors again. So yes, we're trying to strengthen them, but we also want to make sure they're not getting overly tight, because then they can pull on your lower back, which obviously we do not want. So left leg is going to be back behind me and staying pretty much straight. Now I'm just shifting my weight forward. Feel a nice stretch on the top of that left leg. And now just straighten that front leg out and just switching on my right leg's back behind me. Left leg is slightly bent. Right leg is pretty much straight. Shifting my weight forward and keeping my torso perpendicular to the floor. Feeling a nice stretch in the top of my right leg where my torso meets my leg. And those hip flexors. And rest. All right, that's it. That's class number 5. I hope you enjoyed it, and you're enjoying. You've enjoyed all of them so far. As always, if you have any feedback and you think I should add something, take something out, do a little bit more of this or that, I'm always open to feedback. So email me at george@joineffortexercise.com. If you have questions about our program in general, you can email me at that same email address, and I'd be happy to answer them. If you want a little bit more than just the balance classes, if you wanted to learn about our strength training or our cardiovascular training, I would love to share details. So That's pretty much it. All right. So again, hope you enjoyed the class, and we'll see you on Thursday. Have a great Tuesday.